We are live again. Convoy, everyone. Welcome to this 17th episode of the Talks with Damanhur and contain Gnomo. And today we are here to talk about our origins and to discover which are our origins, because we know there are many theories around it. And as always, we're going to wait a couple of minutes in order that everyone can start to join our live stream. I remind you to all of you that here below the video, on the YouTube video, you can find all the links that can help you to get in contact with Damanhur, from the visits to the courses, programs, our different website, our books, our shops. So you can find all the links that can really help you to get in touch with us. And okay, so I can start to introduce the topic of today. And as long as I'm seeing you start to joining the live stream, as always, you are free to ask all the questions that you want. So questions, but you can also share your point of view while we're going through the different topics. So it's a very interesting topic. We're gonna talk about ourselves as human beings, and we're gonna questioning which are our origins. So I'm an Italian. I'm Italian, so I grow up here. I've been studied specific historical book when I was to school. Maybe if someone is from another country, it may be that some of the story that they have been told us are a little bit different. But I think that more or less every one of us has listened to the story that we come from the monkeys, for example. That has been an evolution, a specific evolution that has guided us to be what we are today. And first of all, I want to ask you, Gnomo, to help us to go through this topic, giving us a picture of what Damanhur thinks and believes about the origin of the human being. What is the theory that Damanhur proposed about who we are, what we do here, and where we come from? So I will start with this question, and then we can continue this conversation again, also with your questions. So just feel free to write all your questions here in the chat. Gnomo, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you very much. Um, First of all, we have to talk about something very important. Um, we started our research as the Manurian, um, reading and collecting also all the myths all around the planet, collecting a lot of books and a lot of ancient books. They were talking about, like to say, the unofficial history of humankind all over the planet. And in the last 50 years, we also spent a lot of time to match, to to study, to understand what is going on also in the modern, for example, archaeology or anthropology researches, to understand how all the information they can match, they can be connected. Maybe it's something strange, but today there are many information of the modern anthropology that are matching with many information we collect from the ancient history of humankind. In all this story, we also use a lot of memories that Falco, the master of Damanhur, the founder of Damanhur, collected in this life, in this past, in this former life, that he brought to us, that he told us about many stories and many aspects, many projects of humankind collected to the evolution of humankind. In a nutshell, maybe it can be the start of many other questions. In a nutshell, human being is the mix of many species, and some of those species came from the stars. We are a sort of project. We were made in a laboratory in some way. In a nutshell.
Okay, So, Gnomo, let's go deep in this nutshell. First of all, since you talk about just the hypothesis that we have been in touch with some other creatures, maybe from the universe. So I want to ask you, since this is a quite interesting topic, what is the Damanhur position regarding the origin uh, of humanity, of course, but the possibility of aliens' influences in our evolution, in our creation, in our origin?
Maybe more than to talk about aliens' influences, we have to talk about the fact that we are aliens. For example, we are the only body, the only creature, live creature on planet Earth that is not able to digest celluloid. All the other animals, they can eat plants, wood, but we can't. Or another aspect, we are the only animal that need to cut the hair because the hair are growing and growing for the entire life. Not everyone, but usually the people, they imagine a tiger or a lion that have to cut the hair or he jump and fall down in the jungle because the hair is growing again and again. So we are a strange animal with some very strange aspect, imperfections. Uh, this is a signal that says that maybe we are not yet complete, or maybe we are not completely harmonized with the rest of it. We are the only animal that have to cover himself. We have to cover because it or is too or cold or is too hot. So um, we are not able to be completely harmonized with the environment. Why? Uh, Maybe because we are not designed especially for this planet. Maybe.
And so, Nyama, from your point of view, from your researches, and from what Falco brought to Damanhur, so if you have to say where we come from or who created us, I mean, can you please let us go into this story to give some, let's say, some pieces of this puzzle in order that we start to create a first picture?
Okay. According to the informations we collected in all these ways, uh, it's quite clear that we came from some star, mm, from the galaxy, and human being arrived on planet Earth around 2,100,000 years ago as a species, as an alien species, and from that moment on started to have relationship with other species, local species, other kind of monkeys. I want to tell you something about this. I think it's very interesting. According to the researchers of the modern anthropology um, and archaeologists, they discovered that around 2 millions of years ago, on planet Earth, we had five different branches of imagine um, five different possible human beings, five different species that they were fighting. Okay, in order to fighting is not the correct word, but they were occupying the planet, and every one of the five species was able to evolve in order to become in the future a more evolute species like human being. What happened? One of these five species is very famous, the Neanderthal, for example. Okay, 2 million years ago. So, according to the discoveries of the last 15 years from many researchers from many places all around the world, they they discovered this situation, this map with five different species. That it's very interesting because matching with what we can read from for example, from the Vedas, from the ancient Vedas, the Rig Vedas, where they were talking about five species, 4,000 years ago, Vedas. Okay, anthropologists are discovering in the last 50 years. Uh, those five different species, they were in harmony. They were in some way occupying different parts of the planet, completely harmonizing the environment, except one of those five, the sapiens. The sapiens was aggressive, very aggressive, and according to what they discovered, step by step, the sapiens completely destroyed. Imagine there's a sort of you know um, um, sort of war, destroyed, killed all the other species. So we are the winner of a very strong battle where we destroyed the other five species, also the Neanderthal. And so the sapiens around 32,000 years ago became the only human species on the planet. This is only part of the story because there are also other aspects of the story that are still a mystery. For example, the jump between the step before the Sapiens Sapiens and the Sapiens Sapiens, this jump happened in a few thousands of years, few thousands of years. And from the point of view of the evolution of the species, this is completely impossible because in few thousand years, the Sapiens Sapiens made in the right sequence, in the right way, a lot of very complex transformations of our DNA and our species that in nature it's almost impossible that can appear. Like to have a place full of trash, and in this trash, because of the wind, a completely functionally airplane is made. Okay, because the wind is moving object all around the place. A famous image about difference between complexity and chaos. So because of this strange aspect, and because in many books, for example, in the Bible, the ancient Hebrew version of the Bible, in the Sumerian and Akkadic myth, in the Indian myth, is described the creation of human being from other intelligences. So the manipulation of species to create plants, for example, the corn, animals, for example, the pig, the modern pig, and human being. Usually in protected and closed gardens, the heaven, what is described in the Bible as the garden where Adam was born. So if we read, instead to use metaphors, if we read literally that stories, in front of us, we have a complete new story about the creation of human being that describe a sort of project where there was the idea to create a new species. This new species was originally designed in order to serve someone, something else, someone else, that in a certain moment achieved a sort of new power, the free will. And because of this new power, we started to be dangerous. Imagine that you are planning to design a new machine, and this new machine take his own free will, like maybe reflecting the same ancestral memories. Today we have fears about artificial intelligence, but in some way this new aspect of the artificial intelligence is only another way to describe the story of human being, something designed from another species that in a certain moment started to say I am, and so I can choose for my own life, my own destiny. uh, going out of control from the creators.
And Gnomo, do we know something more about these creators? So, who they are, what is, let's say, even now, their role inside this big game?
Um, Always according to, no, I don't want to repeat again and again, but according to this huge amount of researches in myth and so on, the creators today are usually described in many religions as the gods. So species, life creatures with a different length of life, larger length of life, that for us started to seems like that they are eternal, because in generation they were still alive. So from our point of view, they were eternal. Um, for example, looking at the Hebrew version of the Bible, the terms that is translated in Greek and after in Latin and after in the modern languages as eternity doesn't exist in Hebrew, in ancient Hebrew. So in the original text of the Bible in Hebrew, the term eternity doesn't exist. This term that today is translated as eternity was the correct translation is a long piece of a long length of time, something I can count as human being, but not eternal or infinite. Too big, too big for me. Only that.
So, Nyamo, I want to deepen a specific aspect of the Damanhurian philosophy, because when in Damanhur we say human, we just not talk about this specific body. I think this is quite interesting topic to address while we are talking about our origins, at least to introduce the point of view of the Damanhurian philosophy. So when we talk about the human soul, what do we mean as Damanhurians, and how this perspective is giving a story to all that we are seeing now?
Yes, we can, again, in a nutshell, we can talk about these origin, these species that came from the stars as the original human being, present, spread all over the galaxies, all over the universe. So, in other terms, the planet Earth, from this point of view, is not the only place where our species is present, because we came, part of our species came from that stars. But here on the planet, we started to be mixed with other species. So we are a sort of um, a new species that is the hybrid, is the hybrid of some local species and that species from the star. So in some way, it's like to talk about a sort of, a person of a people that come from another place and start to colonize a place for a long time. And when again these original people come again from the stars on planet Earth, the other people that they came before and they became local, they start to describe as alien people of the same species, but arrived after. In the Damanhurian storytelling about that, we talk about this sort of problem to recognize that was the same species that arrived a long time ago, where we come from, So the new aliens are maybe the same species that they came a long time ago, but we can recognize it because in this long period of time, thousands and billions of millions of years, we start to be completely local. We believe to be part of the planet Earth, original from planet Earth, but this is not completely correct.
And so, if now you have some questions, so all the people that are listening to the episode right now, just feel free to write so that me and Nyomo can address it. And Nyomo, I have to ask you right now, since Damanhur has developed all these researches and has such a project like the one we have seen in the many episodes that we have done, is it Damanhur now having a relationship with other creatures around the universe? Has Falco said something about it? Do we know something more about it? And in the magical project and spiritual project of Damanhur, there is the aim, or is there the aim to recreate a relationship with this creature or not?
Um, do we have a relation with this with those species? Yes, we have. Absolutely. Um, is it important? Is it necessary to reconnect with this original species, the human being? Yes, of course, it is very important. But we have some but. The problem is that in order to reconnect us with these species, with those species, we have to be open, so open in our mind, in order to understand how more complex and different is life all over the universe. And second, so we have to be open, not completely, uh, strict inside, for example, a religious idea where we judge something is good, something is bad, that you are enemy, you are not enemy, and so on. All this bullshit that we have in our mind because of our fears. But the other very big problem is that human being on planet Earth, do you remember that these um, sapiens that started to destroy, to kill the other species? We, as a species, we have a sort of disease. We have a problem in our spiritual DNA that is this need to destroy, to kill, to have war. Look at the newspaper or the television today, still today. Human being is always fighting with someone. We fight between part of our species. We create all the bullshit about the different races. Races doesn't exist. We are all the same race. We are human beings. But we found a way to fight with someone because it's a different religion, because it's a different idea. So we fight between ideas, killing people, destroying complexity. This problem, it's very dangerous for other species that they want to come back and connect with us because we can transmit that self-destruction virus. So first of all, we have to clean this virus, this problem. We have to heal human being from this attitude to destroy ourselves. This is the idea we have in Daman about sort of enemy. Okay, so the enemy is me, is my need to destroy myself and to destroy others because I'm fear about diversity, because I have fear about different ideas and so on. So first of all, we have to fix the problem. Second step, we have to connect us with many other species all around the universe. They are ready from a lot of time to reconnect with human beings. This is the Damanhurian storytelling about that. We believe that is not a problem to connect us with other species. The problem is that we have before, first of all, we have to heal ourselves from this attitude to destroy everything. I don't know if my
Yeah, yeah, Yamo, it is. I mean, it's a very delicate topic, but actually, it's talking about us. And as you say now, it's quite clear that something is wrong with our society. That at the end of the game, the society is made by ourselves. So something inside ourselves, or in the way we approach ourselves and the others, is not really working because the results, of course, there are some positive results, but there are also some issues that now we are addressing as humanity, that are really not working. For example, destroying the wars, the conflicts, on and on and on and on. I want to ask you other couple of questions about it. And so, what is the Damanhur? What Damanhur says about um, overcoming this virus? How could we overcoming the virus? What could be the healing process or the medicine that we could take to do so? Since we are thinking about our origins, somehow the origin affects our future. So now thinking about the future, what could be the solution, the direction that Damanhur at least gives to this world picture?
the solution is in the same time very simple and very complex from our point of view, and also very practical. The solution that Damanhur applied from the very beginning of our project is very simple, with a simple name: community. Creating community and helping the people to learn again to live with other people together. So entering again in a deep relationship with other people every day is a way to understand the others. Of course, it means also to learn a way to solve conflicts between the people. So we need a training. Human being need a training to learn again to stay with other people in the same place, sharing a lot. In this way, we start to understand that the other people, every other the other is like me, is not an enemy. So it's very simple, but it's very complex because it means that all the civilizations all around the world, they have to change the strategies, they have to change the way of living. Uh, all over the world, there are many communities that are growing and growing, but we are not yet at the level where there are enough people all around the world that they learn again how to interact with other people in a way, in an evolutive way, and not in a way that is destructive.
Mhm.
That's why Damanhur is based on communities. Community, it's um, an idea that can be also applied in many different ways on in a company, in a building, okay, in a project. Not only sharing a kitchen and sharing the kitchen, the food, and staying every day in the same house. A community can be designed in many ways, but must be a real training where I learn how to understand that when I have a problem with someone else, the problem is not him, is not her. The problem is in between me and he, her, is the relationship that I have to change. Starting to change myself and not trying to change the other people. This is the seed of all the fight, all the problems all around the world. We believe that someone else has to change or someone else has to be destroyed. If you look, if you apply this, you can apply to the war between Ukraine and Russia. You can apply in Israel and Palestine. You can apply in Africa, all over the world. Is the formula, and you will see that at the end, looking, the real problem is that someone is trying to change someone else instead to change himself in a way that can be win-win. So I can found I can reach my goals in a way where also the goal of the other can be reached. When you say is impossible, is because you're not working to find a solution in this way. You've chosen to uh, to change the way and say, okay, it's easier to destroy the enemy. And luckily, unfortunately, there are modern translations. I want to repeat it again: modern translations of religions, manipulating the idea of the religions, that they are boosting, they are enforcing this idea of division. But it's not because of the religion or what is brought on the Bible or what is brought on the Quran or what is brought in other books. Is how we apply the ideas. You can read the Quran, understanding how much um, the woman was important, and you can read the Quran and saying woman is not important, I can kill the woman. So it's the same book. It's how I read it that changed completely the approach.
Thank you, Nyomo. I took some notes about what you said because you really point out quite interesting um, information. For example, the one that you say, I mean, always remember that we don't need to change someone else, but the quality of relationship that we have created with someone else, and so to respect the diversity and so on. I mean, and I have to say, since I also live in a community, that living a community, it's a very good training on all this topic. It's a very good training on letting this philosophy, this concept that I think we all agree, but living in a pragmatic way, where you can really face it in a pragmatic way, even day by day. So it's a very good spiritual training camp, living in a in a community. Okay,
Okay,
so
so
arrived
arrived
at
to
this
this
point
point
of
of
the of our
our
conversation.
conversation.
Nomo,
Now,
I
I
want to
want
ask you if you have something more that you want to add about this topic. Otherwise, I have a last questions, but just let me know if you want to give some other colors to this picture.
yes.
Yes. Something I want to add is that, of course, we talked about many theories, ideas, okay? They are still under research, so this is an open circle. Maybe in the future something will change because we discover new aspects. Maybe in the future something will be proved very also in official way about the stars, about the aliens, and so on. But we have to be careful that every research, every approach, every storytelling is an open research, is not true or false, is an hypothesis that can work on can work cannot work anymore. So because the danger is to create the party of people that they believe in something, the party of people that they fight against something. This is again the same problem, the division and the fight. We believe that all that topics about stars, aliens, origin of humankind is strictly related with my daily life. It's very practical because it's how every day I approach myself with this aspect of the relationship with the other people that can change the story of mankind. And if enough people all over the world, since the critical mass of people all over the world, that they change the approach they have to this idea, they can completely change the planet and the story of the planet. Is it true that the aliens are waiting for us? Is it not true? If we change our way and we found a way to have agreements with the other people, it's not so important if it's true or not. the life would be beautiful. Also, if it's not true and we are alone all around the universe. Of course, also the astronomists, they say it's almost impossible that we are alone all around the universe, because the amount of planets all around the universe that can host life is so huge that is a number that we can't write. So it's almost impossible that we are alone, and it's almost impossible that we are the only intelligent creature all around the universe. Also, is absolutely stupid to believe that we are the only intelligent alive creature on planet Earth. So we sometimes, talking about aliens, we confuse communication, so the way we communicate using words, that is only one kind of evolution of our species, that other species they chosen not to take, because we talk, because we use the sound, because we use this way to communicate. We believe that the other species that don't use voice like us, they are stupid. Maybe they are communicating all together without us, and we are the only, imagine, we are the only animal on planet Earth that is not able to really communicate with all the other species. And all the other species are waiting that we understand that we can communicate if we are able to go beyond this very local, very small, short idea we have about what means to communicate. So when we talk about aliens, we are not all in Damanhur. We are not only talking about the green small people from Venus, but we are also talking about my dog, my cat, my plants, whales, elephants, and many other animals. They have a complete culture, civilization, beautiful but different.
Okay, thank you, Gnomo. I've seen that Marian and Joa also are also grateful for what you just shared with us. My question was about what you just say now. So it was about, okay, what do you consider to be aliens in your daily life? Because living in a community sometimes let you discover that the craziest alien close to you is just your roommate. So, I mean, we have a lot to discover even on this planet. We don't need, I mean, we need to go maybe in other planets, but to find an aliens, we can talk with our cats, as you say, or with the trees, and so on. So yeah, if you don't have other to answer, I would close this episode here, reminding to everyone that Damanhur has books and courses and programs that can deepen this topic. So if you are interested to deepen all this topic, you can look on the links here below. You can write to us an email. You can go by yourself to the different website and deepen these specific topics. I also want to remind you that around the, if I'm not wrong, is the 21st of September. We're gonna celebrate here the equinox, so it can be an opportunity to come to visit Damanhur, to stay with us, and also, of course, let's say if you are interested in some of these topics, to find some hints and some synchronicity which can help you on your research. So, Nyamo, if you want to add something, this is the moment, and then we're gonna say hi to all of you.
Very, very fast, very short. Also, the rituals of solstices and equinoxes is a way to communicate. In this case, it's a way to communicate with the complete planet, with the planet Earth, as a human, as a species, as a intelligent. Because also the planet is an alien. If we not communicate with the planet, all the shamans all over the world for thousands, for millennia, all the spiritual schools, they use the rituals, solstices, equinoxes, and other natural ritual in nature to communicate, to be in contact and in balance with the nature. It's a way to talk with the planet, not to be alien in the same house. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, Gnomo. Thank to all of you to participate to this meeting. Again, if you want to share with friends and people that we are doing this talk, you're gonna help us to grow and to share with many, many other people these events. So thank you so much, and we'll see you the next month on the new episode. Con voi, con voi, everyone.